Hello, folks. I hope this is actually working because I'm using the restream stuff, which is kinda new to me. Hello, welcome everyone. Again, Code with Buddha is back after I think more than a year now. A lot of stuff happened in the meantime. We did some nice progress with Memgraph, but yeah, keep going with the Code with Buddha stuff. I hope you're doing well today. Yeah, it's a bit rainy in Zagreb, but all good. I think we're ready to go. Let me check just the restream stuff, because I think I should be also live on Twitter. Yes, it's happening on Twitter as well, which is fine. We are live on YouTube and Twitter. Yeah, please post the comments on YouTube, or I think also you can tweet. Yeah, you can also tweet on Twitter with some interesting stuff if you would like to. So yeah, ask any question or anything which is interesting. Today's topic is how to contribute into a C++ code base. Essentially, I'll showcase how to contribute to C++ project, and Memgraph is going to be the showcase. Memgraph repository, Memgraph code will be an example. I think Memgraph is pretty, I wouldn't say standard, but pretty expected setup. So there is a couple of scripts on the side, and CMake, extensive CMake config, and stuff like that. So I'll go through all of that, explain how to compile, maybe showcase a couple of things from these tools like ccmake and GDB, which are useful to make some progress. And then at the end, or second half of the stream, are gonna be some contributions to the features and issues. I'll try to fix some stuff. We'll see. I haven't prepared anything, so we'll see how that will go, but hopefully I can make some nice contributions and showcase how to actually do some stuff. I hope you can hear me. Just to double check. Yes, it's working. So yeah, let's get started. Here it's my usual setup. So I'll just go into the Memgraph code base. Hopefully, Memgraph, here we have the Memgraph code base. So let me just, no, wrong one. Let's start Chrome, and on GitHub there is the, maybe to show, zoom in, I think this is fine. That type of zoom is fine. So this is the Memgraph codebase, and a bunch of stuff is happening. But here we have all the regular stuff, how to download and install, which is the easiest way to get started with Memgraph. But today we are not interested into that. Let's go down here under internals, which is a bit hidden, but it actually has a bunch of data and information how to actually get started. So here we have quick start and toolchain. Let's go over the quick start. So yeah, there is some regular stuff like installing Git and then cloning the repo. I'll skip that for now. This is, I think, super straightforward. And cd memgraph, and I just did that. So here we are under Memgraph repository, and now we need to actually start building Memgraph. But that has a couple of steps. Since Memgraph is a bit more complex code base, we actually prepared something that we call toolchain, which is essentially a set of tools, Clang, GCC, GDB, CMake, already precompiled and prepared to build Memgraph. And for each operating system, we actually have the right package that can be unpackaged and used. Here are the instructions how to do so, and let me actually do that just to showcase, even though I have that. So for the Ubuntu, I'll copy the link, and yeah, let me just go under downloads or something. Downloads, and we get that thingy. So I have Ubuntu 2020-04, and the right package has to be picked from the list. Here, that's gonna be downloaded. That will take some time, and while this is happening, let's go back here. So maybe a bit more. No, this is too big. Sorry. So here, once we download, we have to unpack it and then activate the toolchain, and we'll see all these tools available. But once we actually go under Memgraph, this is now Memgraph repository. We should actually put this here. I'll actually put here that a comment, if I can do that. No, it's asking me to sign. I won't do that. I'll put that on the side. Just a second. Take my stuff to actually put some comments here. How to improve stuff. So toolchain. Yeah, sorry. All good. So here I'll put that this has to be inside Memgraph. So Memgraph has to be. These are files and scripts under Memgraph repository which have to be used, which is not obvious from here. Here I put, I already recorded a video, but this time this one will stay on YouTube, so everyone can access it to see it. It's still 29%. This is going super slowly. Yeah, maybe I can go and check and proceed with Memgraph compilation while we are here. But anyway, this is now here. We'll get back to here. This is the quick start, and then once we actually have the toolchain, we need to run an init script, which is kinda a bit hackish way to get everything prepared to be able to compile Memgraph. This is because Memgraph has a couple of dependencies, and these dependencies, it's always tricky to install them properly, and CMake is not the best tool to actually easily configure them and compile them. So we have additional bash script which is used to prepare the whole environment. An important note is that Memgraph it's easiest to compile Memgraph under Linux. It's also possible to compile it on the WSL, but for the compilation experience and for the contribution experience, Linux is by far, the best, not because Linux is best, but because we use Linux internally, and that thing really works. WSL, it's also possible 100%, but there might be some issues with stuff we are using from the dependencies on the dependency side, but it's possible also 100%. And in the future, I think we will also compile for Windows at some point, but it's not something that will happen very fast. Anyway, these are all the Linux distros that are supported, so pick any one of these and you should be fine. What's on this side? It's still downloading. Okay, I'll do a bit non-linear because just to save time. And I'll go try to set up here additional thing. called memgraph tmax. I'll use tmax just to browse through the terminal. Memgraph, and here we go. Let's say okay, now we have the memgraph stuff here, and yeah, I already compiled everything. If you go under the build folder and you did make J, which is alias, so you can do make, which will run the same thing but in a serial way. You can also do, this takes some time, you can also do make -j, let's say 12, because I have 12 threads here on the system. That will do a parallel build, and then make j is just my alias for to run the same thing. But I have a lower streaming quality for some. No, this is because of the terminal. Anyway, my system is telling me that the current bitrate is low, but this is low because we are streaming the terminal, which doesn't have much to stream. Data is not that big. All right. That's fine. What about our download? It's still going. So okay, we did the make stuff here, but and we actually didn't activate the toolchain. I'm doing completely reverse order here, but yeah, I'll repeat all this stuff. So source opt toolchain activate. Now we can actually do stuff. If you can see, we have CMake version 3.22, and also Clang version is 13. So this is the Clang is the compiler that Memgraph is using, so the version is 13 there. Okay, this will take some time. So, but yeah, I can do that actually in parallel. All right, and then I'll repeat just the cached stuff. Okay. Let me just, if I go here and so I have that script on the GitHub. Git clean. So that will remove all the generated stuff from the repository, from the code, and it will actually say. So this is not step that should be repeated, but here we have removed all the generated things from the repository. So we have Antler jar file build folder, some of the libs, and then generated files during the build, and that's all removed. So I have essentially the result here is that repository is completely empty, in the same state as it would be if we just git cloned the whole thing. So now we can actually build the same start building stuff. So here we are under the toolchain. So we can just run the init script that I talked about. Let's start that. So that will also run some downloads. So we'll download all the repositories, all the libraries, and do some step setup throughout the code base. This is actually the script is kind of complex, and it has some optimizations to download stuff faster. But even though it says it's unable to fetch, it will actually fetch stuff only if it fails with some error. Then something is actually not right. But this here is all good. Yeah, I'm behind that. I'm behind that. I'll put myself up here so that I'm not blocking the logo. Twitter is fine, YouTube is fine, everything is happening. So, okay, download of init is done. Now we can actually start compiling. So, what about, okay, I'll run the compilation here because the other stuff will also take time. So, and then I'll repeat all in the right order because, yeah. Okay, so here we actually init script created the build folder, and if we go under build, we have to run the CMake. It's usually done like this. This will take default CMake options. That's good for now. For us at the moment, configuration is done, and now we can actually start building. So if I run make j, which is make j minus 12 in my case, that will start building Memgraph, which is nice. We can go just here, htop, and you can see the whole machine is utilized, which is fine. Now that will take a couple of minutes. So I'll go back here and I'll try to repeat steps in the same order as we had here. Once the so back, you have to pick up the right toolchain. Once the toolchain is downloaded, we should execute this command here to unpack it. Sorry. We can run this and let's delete this and toolchain Ubuntu, yes. Sudo, we need sudo because here we picked the folder or the directory to unpack stuff, and that's not under this user. So if I run this, not sure why I got this error, but fine. All right, here we are unpacking stuff. That will also take some time. While we are unpacking, now we okay, this is interesting. Anyway, here we hijacked the build. I've never actually did this, but fine, because I think we removed the original file and then the whole process break. Okay, this is quite fun. Anyway, here we download. This is the first step, downloading the toolchain. Then the second step is unpacking the stuff, and this is done now. And then let's go back over in the Memgraph codebase. We can do here, and again, we can run here init. Init will actually clean also the build folder and everything on that side. Again, you have to activate the toolchain. So let's do this. Deactivate and source of the toolchain activate. Once the toolchain is activated, we have to run init, which will do the same thing. Now let's wait here just to be consistent. I haven't seen the comment, of course. All right. Still happening. This is close to an end. Nice. Now we have the init done. If we go under build, we can run the CMake again. Okay, and then make J. Now this time the whole process should pass without issues. So what I did, it's quite interesting because I deleted all the files which are in the toolchain by overriding them, and then the build complained. There are some warnings through the build process, but this is fine because if everything goes fine, it's okay. Yeah, we are constantly fixing the warnings and stuff like that, but sometimes it's more time consuming than actually beneficial to fix all of them. Okay. This now works as expected. No issues on that side. Let us check the htop. That's also fine. The machine is utilized. Let's create here a couple of more windows. I like to have these 9 windows open because then on the 9th window I actually have my GitHub Git stuff, so it's all good. We have the latest version of Memgraph a couple of days ago. I mean, last commit was 1 or 2 days ago. This now takes a couple of minutes. It depends on which machine you are compiling. This machine here is 12 threads, which is not that, which is bigger than or more than average laptop. So this is actually a bit faster than it would be on a faster, but also this is whole build with everything included. You don't have to build everything. Plus, once it's built, the whole configuration is done in a way that files are not recompiled if not needed, essentially having an incremental build. So usually throughout the regular coding session or regular coding experience is not that you recompile every single time everything. Usually recompile a small subset of stuff. You can also pick a single target or executable. You can, for example, just compile Memgraph executable and that's it. Here we have a bunch of libraries which are compiled and unit tests. Each unit test is actually a binary which is also compiled and stuff like that. While this is happening, maybe to go back here, this is toolchain, and then we have quick start. We have here a bunch of these things. Oh, and I actually haven't done this. That's a shame. Yeah, just a comment on this thing here. Yeah, I think I will have to do all that from again in order because it's very confusing. I'll try to run this just to see what's gonna happen. If I run this, that will just, I can do that actually in parallel. So let's go here a bit, and if I run this, this should actually fail because I'm not on that system. Yes, not the right operating system, and here I have to say 2020 Ubuntu 2020.04 install. So since we just activated the toolchain also has some operating system dependencies, and we install these by running toolchain run deps by running this command here. If we run this, that will just, update the repository and install some of these things, but I have already all of them installed, so that will just pass without doing anything actually. Yes, so this on that side, and that's for the toolchain. And then we have Memgraph build apps, which is actually what Memgraph needs in order to, when Memgraph is building, Memgraph also requires some of the stuff to be actually started as well. And Memgraph build deps. This is equivalent. I have noticed this error here, but I recently upgraded to 2020.04. I assume there is some issue on that side with that. But yeah, won't fix that at the moment. Doesn't really matter. Where are we here? Close to an end. Yeah, even I didn't follow the guides, so this is still happening. Memgraph is compiled. So here we actually have the Memgraph in the debug version. I hope I won't go back and compile everything. I kind of showcased that. I'll mark that video, mark the segments in the video, so let's not go back because it takes a lot of time. Let's stop here in terms of that. Here we have compiled Memgraph version. We did that. We did all these steps, and then we can actually run. Let's try that. That might actually fail as well because, okay, it works just because we are printing the version, so we have the right version, which is Memgraph version 2.3, 30 steps ahead, 30 commits ahead of the 2.3.0, which is fine. We just have 30 commits more on the master branch at the moment. Yeah, one interesting thing I wanted to showcase are the CMake options, which can be changed and configured. So you can do that by multiple ways. For example, if we under the build directory, you can do CMake -d and then write the exact CMake option that you want to change. For example, CMake release build, but let me just check. So another tool that you can use is ccmake. Okay, yeah, ccmake. I actually remember. If you do like this, you can actually see all the. This is ccmake is CMake curses, which is a CMake terminal user interface, which lists all the flags, and some of them are by default defined in the CMake, like CMake build type, and this is what I wanted to do, and then these install prefixes and stuff like that. We also have a bunch of Memgraph related stuff. So yeah, these are some stuff for the building and SPD log. Usually these things don't have to be changed in any way, except in exceptional cases. The most interesting flag is by far the most interesting, and 99% of the time you need only that, is the build type, because you want to change from default, which is debug. Now here it's not specified, but it's actually debug, to the release mode, because in the release mode everything is like, let's say 5 times faster or something like that. If we hit enter here, it actually says CMake build type, choose the type of build. Options are non-debug, release, rel with dep info, min size rel. Default is debug, and I'll actually specify it here. Release. Press enter to confirm, press accept to cancel. If I hit enter, it's fine now. But in order to actually write that, we have to configure. So here we have to hit C first, and that will reconfigure the whole thing. And yeah, and then if I hit generate, boom, we actually do this here. And what's interesting now, if I rerun, that will actually trigger the whole build process again. Let me just, an alternative way to do the same thing is to actually specify that as a CMake flag. If I run CMake build type here, and I pick debug, we're gonna put it back where it was before. It says CMake build type debug, and if we run the make process again, that should not build everything again, but since we changed the build type, I think it's gonna recompile everything. Yeah, let's stop this here and run CMake. It actually, we put here release, but it says debug. Let's move it back to that. If we do ls, we just have one version of Memgraph, but let's now run the compilation. Now it should be release, and we should have another binary built in the build folder. That will take some time. So yeah, CCMake was interesting. Let's play a bit more with that. I hope I won't mess the build. If I do here, so what else we can change? I mean, there are some basic stuff. Yeah, maybe interesting to change is also Python path and Python version. You can actually, since Memgraph has Python interpreter embedded, you can actually define which Python is used. By default, you shouldn't play with that. But if you want to use Python from the Conda environment, that's interesting, and you would like to do that because of the, let's say, some advanced setup in your machine learning pipeline, then you can actually configure Memgraph to load that Python and these libraries, and then these things can be used from the query modules. These are just on-off flags to do stuff. SPD log, I assume you will never need to change that. Read line and stuff like that, that's fine. Quit without generating. Where are we on the build phase? Still early. Okay. Okay, that was CMake, make, and all these things. I also plan to do, check my notes, what to showcase actually. Unit test and GDB. So if we go back here, we actually have the unit tests. So once you build stuff and once you contribute something, you actually want to run some tests, and by default there are unit tests which should be run before any push to the repository, or yeah, to check does your code work. In order to do that, it's actually very simple. We can just run ctest minus r. R is filtering, so that will run just the unit tests, and minus j, again 12, to do that in parallel. And voila, we are now running unit tests. Most of them are quite short and fast, but there are a couple of ones which are a bit more beefy, that takes more time. Yeah, I think the durability unit test and maybe one more are a bit bigger. Anyway, this is running now. I hope this won't mess up. Yeah, because now I'm doing stuff in parallel and these things might break, but I hope not. Everything seems to be fine on the stream. All good. Unit tests are still running. Release build is still in progress. What else we can do in parallel? So make ctest, and on the third window we can actually run some debugger. Source opt toolchain activate. Again, new terminal, new toolchain, because here we have all the tools required. This time GDB is interesting. Here in the toolchain there is the GDB version 11.2, which is quite recent. Anyway, let's try to run Memgraph first on its own. Memgraph, yeah, that will fail because of a specific reason, because usually this should work, but since I installed Memgraph on the system, it takes the wrong permissions, wrong config, because it takes the global configuration file and it wants to write into warlog memgraph something, which I don't have permissions because I'm not running as sudo. But in order to circumvent that, I'll just log file equals log, and there is one more flag which is also problematic, which is data directory. So I'll just put here data, so that will create a log file under build folder and also data directory under data, which is fine because we won't do anything. We won't have any serious deployment of Memgraph at the moment. If I run this should be fine. Yeah, because he's complaining about the Python stuff, but doesn't really matter. This means actually that Memgraph is working, and if I just run here another, let's say mg console. Mg console is the console thingy. Oh, I should actually build that as well. Okay. I'm actually connected to Memgraph, to this one at the moment, and we can execute some simple query. Test ID 1. Oh. Boom, and very boom, we created a node and then get the node back, which is amazing. Are we done here? Yes. Are we done here? No. All right. But here it's interesting because, as you can see here, we compiled Memgraph debug version, and then we changed the CMake build type to release, and that automatically recompiled Memgraph under release mode. And then we have the symlink, which is Memgraph, but that symlink Memgraph is now actually pointing to the release mode. So if we run Memgraph this time, that will run the release version of Memgraph, which is much faster. So, and it also takes less space on disk, smaller binary size. And yeah, if we can lose this a bit bigger output. So Memgraph, it's actually like 10 times less. So Memgraph in the debug mode has 200 megabytes, while in the release mode it's only 20 megabytes. And that's the binary size. Okay, tests are still running, which is fine. Okay. Yeah. I wanted to showcase the GDB stuff. If you want to compile, if you want to test Memgraph and debug, then I think the best option is the GDB by far. But yeah, it's not easy to run it, or it's not something people usually do. But in order to do so, we can run GDB from the build folder and then just run Memgraph. Now we have an issue because we released we built that in the release mode, which is not the best thing. But actually, let's showcase that. If I run it here, it's gonna say no debugging symbols found in Memgraph, and that's a problem because GDB cannot locate lines in the binary, so it cannot show where exactly you are in the process of debugging inside the code. But what we can do, we can actually create a symlink to the debug version to avoid the whole compilation process and all these things. So rm memgraph. Yeah, we now delete the symlink ln-s and memgraph debug memgraph. Of course, we can run only we can run GDB by using only the exact binary. We don't need to specify the symlink, but in this case, we now relinked the binary, which means we can run GDB by memgraph. Now it says a reading symbol from Memgraph, and it's done. So which means we can actually have symbols from Memgraph, which is amazing. And here GDB has the whole, it's like the whole universe of commands you can use, and it's very complex software, so you can learn it for a very long time. But nice option is that you can put a breakpoint, for example, in the actual file. So let's go here and let's go step back here. I'm using NeoVim from recently. If I just open NeoVim and then Memgraph CPP and Memgraph CPP, here we are inside main. It actually says main. Main file is on the line 1044. We can put here Memgraph CPP and then 1044. That will put a breakpoint under that line. But sometimes it's easier, for example, to put a breakpoint IB means info breakpoint that will list all your breakpoints. I think we can just delete one IB. Yeah. Now we don't have breakpoints, but we can also put a breakpoint under function name. So for example, if I put main here, that will actually put a breakpoint at the beginning of main function, which is very convenient because you know your function and you want to break there. That's, I think, the most very convenient command. If we execute this, that will again put a breakpoint at the same line, which is 1045, but yeah. Okay, and then if I run, boom, here we actually, the breakpoint was hit, which is exactly what we wanted to do. And in that case, now GDB has the TUI mode, terminal user interface, or I'm not sure if that stands for that, but in the GDB context. But if we hit Control X A, that will open the code, and here you can see the breakpoint. My color scheme is not great in this case, but what can you do? I'll continue with that. It's not that critical for now, but yeah. Anyway, now here we have the breakpoint and the code, and we can set, for example, n is means next. That will go to the next line. Yeah, if you just, you can hit next and then go after, but if you just hit enter, that will just repeat the previous command, and you can step through the whole thing. This is a function, but if you want to go inside that function, you can just hit S, which means step, and that will go under that function. I think if I run finish, yeah, that's completely done. Yeah, anyway, just rerun it again. Boom, next, S, back. Isn't the command for that finish? Okay. Anyway, now we are here, we can step forward. Sometimes the output of that TUI can be messed up, but if you hit Control L, that will clear the screen. But yeah, we are. Why did we finish that? Okay. So now we have the same issue as with the terminal run, because Memgraph doesn't have permissions to write stuff. Let's try to fix that by just Memgraph and then Memgraph. I think you need to put, in order to args, in order to pass the arguments, you need Memgraph and then -- log file log -- data. I think now it should be fine. So in order to pass these flags to Memgraph, you have to specify these args flag. Of course, I don't have the breakpoint, but if I put main, I do run, Control X A. Let me just Google how to go from, because I thought it's finish. Step out of current function. Yes, yeah, finish. Okay. Okay, if we do next, initialize logger seems like a simple function to understand. Let's step in. We do some stuff here. Log file empty. Now at this point, I think our yeah, that was previously broken, but now it works. Let's just move on. mg assert program name. Actually, I could, yeah, let's step into this function, get executable path. Now we are here. If we run finish, yeah, I know why it didn't work the first time. Anyway, it's finished. Yeah. If we do next, and Shergill, this is also a function from the Memgraph codebase. Let's step here. Okay, this is actually the constructor. If we call f, yeah, finish is something differently. Anyway, f is something different than finish. Anyway, yeah, that's basically it. That's how you debug stuff. I won't go into details of the GDB because, yeah, we might need that later on, and then I'll get into that. Okay, let's quit here. Yes. Our tests finally finished, which is amazing. But yeah, this the socket test takes a bunch of time, like 10 minutes. Okay. Amazing. So I actually showcased everything in the first part. So how to compile, how to run tests, and how to debug with GDB. I was very much out of order, but yeah, please follow the quick start guide because it's quite correct with all these things. All right, let's go back to the. So this is the first part. A couple of viewers throughout the session. Yeah, any questions? Any questions, please? What about Twitter? Twitter is also not that active. Yeah, we are now here. It's fine. Boom. Okay. Let's go back. I think we were. No. GitHub. Memgraph. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Issues. So let me actually try to fix some stuff. So, or to contribute. There are a couple of issues created recently by Michael. Thanks, Michael, for contributing with the issues and everything. What is this? Hello message response doesn't contain server. We are missing server. Why you don't have the default value? I think we should. Yeah, I put needs triage, but yeah, I'm not sure why we don't have the default value. That's something easy. I think this is like too easy because we just have to send a string somewhere. So I might skip this for now. Min int value throws error. This is a bit more interesting. When I run a query with min integer value, I got integer literal exceeds 64 bits. Min int value on x64 is boom. I understand. Let me just try to recreate this. So here we build, here we let's say run. If we do this, log minus data from mg console. Yeah, I haven't showcased the mg console stuff. but or how to compile it, but it's very similar to Memgraph, so it should be exactly the same. MG console, but how to run with, so we have create return $e, parameter e is not provided, help. How to send the parameter in the MG console? Let's put this like here and MG. Tab help, CSV, fit host, no output password, use SSL. How to put the actually don't know how to send parameter by MG console. Doesn't have that explained, which is also amazing. We should add that to the documentation. Parameter, how to do parameters, MG session params pointer, if not params connect, that's the parameters, MG connect, query get query, query empty, execute query. It only the query is passed. Execute query, let me, okay, let's just go back here and MG console, we need MG console. I'll just try to confirm. All right. Main CPPS. So query. I don't have stuff here. Oh, I'm doing a bit accelerated time frame here. I'll compile MG console super quickly. I hope it's gonna fly. Yes, but basically I'm looking for the compile commands file in order for my NeoVim index to work. It's here, should be fine. And if I just rerun it, yes, indexing is working. Get query. Why this doesn't work? No. Okay, for some reason my, does it work here? Just a second. Yeah, it works here. Not sure. Maybe because it's in the release mode or something, but shouldn't be, that shouldn't be the case. Anyway, execute query is not indexed, but I can maybe do no. Yeah, execute query. Execute query. Ima. It's sorry. It has session and the query, and which is the string. Yeah, we cannot put. We cannot put params in the MG console. Yeah, that's maybe a feature for the MG console. Okay, that's not gonna fly. Okay, unfortunately, boom. Okay, let's go back here. So how to actually do this? So let's try with Python. I'll make a simple Python script to actually run PyMG client. Let's start another thing here. Okay, let's try with PyMG client. Yeah. I have a alias here as well, which starts the Python virtual environment. Pip install pymg client. This should work, yeah. And neovim main.py. Okay. Okay, let me just reuse this. But we don't need execute, so return 25 just for the test now. Let's try to execute this. Amazing, it works. Yes, and now Python PyMG client. We need to spec a ref integer connection cursor execute params. All right, if we just specify novim main. Okay, let's say I params should be mapping. There was by the name placeholders. Let's try to do this. I 10. about this? Source av3 is alias av3 is source activate. Okay, takes no keyword arguments. Okay, nice. So we now know how to inject the proper thing, and let's go back here and just use that value as the something which is correct. If we put that huge number here, that thingy seems to be working. When I run query with the min int value, I get 64 bits. Is that the same number? 808 775 7758. Yeah, that's the same number, and it takes the same shit. Sorry. If I put one more number, one bigger number, now it's overflow exception, and it actually says int too big to convert. That's actually Python error, not Memgraph error. So okay. It seems like Python is working. And what's the, when I run bolt PHP bolt library, it might be that there is an issue in the bolt. Okay, seems like this is not an error because it's actually working throughout the Python client. Yeah, I'll just write that down as the possible improvement. But how? Over bolt protocol with the min int value as parameter. Yeah. Maybe like the conversion on the bolt library side is wrong. And then we get something. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll check that as an option. Let's go. Let's go to the next one, and then we'll see what is happening. So, not executable query with two boolean values. If you run query true false, you get error. True. Somehow that column name is wrong. Run the following query. That might be interesting to debug. Let's try this. So first, let's try to recreate. If I run stuff under Memgraph, Here we have mg console. If I run return true false. Yep, there is an issue on that side. Oh, okay, this is clearly an issue. Now where to find this? So I think this is a problem under session, and this is actually inside this file. So if I go here, so here we have the enum. We have to find these headers where they are printed. This is logging, session data, drop user. These are the role stuff, grant privileges, deny privileges, auth checker, authorized, bolt session, pull result, session begin, interpret. Here we maybe have some interesting stuff. User, prepare, result headers. Here we have result headers. Prepare result. This thing here returns prepared query header, query execution, prepared query header, prepared query, query execution. Here we have different queries, different types of queries. Let's go just up. And then prepared query is actually I'll lower the font a bit just to be able to parse through the noise. Here we have begin commit stuff. Parsed query. Let's put a breakpoint here. That's like interpreter CPP 2267. Interpreter CPP 22. Yeah, GDP arcs. Nice. Prepared query executions. First, so we have parsed query, user parameters, storage length 2. Bunch of stuff. Nope. Parsed query. Sorry, what does this parsed query has? Parameters. No. This is actually just the parsed query, which is fine, but it's not useful in our case. Or cipher or prepared query. If we go here, we have, here we have the header, and that's gonna probably fail. And this thingy here is actually, I think this should go, in this first option. I think if we step here, if we next here, that's gonna fail. Let's just step. Now we have a bit of a noise here. Now we hear, okay. Now we have the cipher query, frame, symbol table, evaluation context, dot, evaluate Memgraph limit, which is fine. Clause notifications, that's gonna also pass. Cipher query to plan. That might fail. Maybe not, because here we are. Okay, because we have output symbols. Print output symbols. We have name, user declaration declared false, user declared false. Sorry, I don't understand now. Any. Okay. When the symbol is aliased or expanded from star, side, return, or with, then there is no token position. Okay. Parsed query, stripped query, named expression, symbol token position. Header is not done yet. What? Nope. There is an error, but I get an exception. Anyway, next, 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 next. Parsed query is fine. That's all good. Prepared query. How did he? Jump over all these things, because I think header is not, yeah, I think exception was thrown here. Output symbols, yeah, are not defined here because plan output symbols here failed. Yeah, that's interpret CPP 1171. Quit. Break. One one seven one. Right. Yes. Continue. Yes, we are here now. Step into that. Next step again. Yeah, here it's already exception. Exception has thrown already somewhere here. Return accept AST previsit body symbol generator. How to know that exception is thrown? Type red for more. Quit to quit. Continue. Yeah. Let's try to continue here. Let's again. Cipher query to plan. Okay. Break. This is a bit annoying. Yes, now we are here. That's gonna pass. There is no plan cache because but how? Because we restarted Memgraph. Make logical plan. Make symbol table. I think here it breaks. I think on the accept is gonna fail. Yeah, boom. Accept is failing. Make symbol table. We don't need all these. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, here up and down is moving through this code, but Control P is actually going through the previous command. Delete. Yeah. Delete 5. Delete 5. Delete 6. Breakpoint makes table. Make symbol table, yes, and rerun stuff, yes. Close, accept. Yeah, now this is a visitor, which is a bit shitty to debug. But yeah, hierarchical tree visitor post. But yeah, make symbol table fails, and then that's fine. Single query accept. Now we are in the AST. Accept visitor. Query. We should search for return. Return body. Named expression. This is clone, but we need body named expression. We need actually this one here, I think, because pre-visited true, name expression false, break, order by. from all return stuff, what we have, return body. All the identifiers, distinct named expressions. These are name expression size, cont false, break, accept, return visitor, post visit this, with let's put here 2280. Break st hpp 2280. I have to make a 2280. Started from the beginning, yes. Return true false, make symbol table, yes. Continue. Nope. Nope, that doesn't hit here. Not good. Sorry. I put it under wrong. I have to put it under return. 2235. No. Two, 3, 5. No, some issues with what? Now we have some weird issues. Why MG console doesn't work. Some weird issue here. Why it's not working anymore? And what about the Python stuff? This is also blocked. What? Interesting. Maybe some log stuff got. Wow. Map chunk. This is something weird. Let's recompile. It looks like something very weird went down. Memgraph and Memgraph 2.3 debug. Let's recompile. It seems something very weird is going on. Because probably I deleted stuff and then this is okay. Now this will take us a couple of minutes, but while this is happening, let's try to understand this part here. Content contains common return and wait. think here is, but this is under clone, so that shouldn't be, accept should be the thing. And if it's not happening, expression accept, expression accept, expression accept, utils. That will evaluate stuff, and then where do we have that expression? So named expression, expression accept, Memgraph expression, and it has accept. XOR operator and operator, we need true. Binary operator, division operator, not equal operator, less operator, greater, in list, accept, if list. So now we are looking for the something that will parse regex match, named expression, pattern atom. That might be the case actually. Edge, create match, return. This is done somewhere else. Show config. Tree expression. But binary operator has like 2. Okay, let's try again. Why this doesn't work? Let's search for this map chunk invalid pointer. Did I change the code or something? No. This is the memgraph. Do I have like a running process in the background or what? Ah, here we are. I have a running process somewhere. I was searching for that but couldn't find it. But yeah, now we're gonna kill it. So yeah, somehow this GDB session was there. That will fly now, I think. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I didn't know that was a GDB session under the hood, but I don't know why this didn't fail then. Super weird. True, false. True, not allowed. The same, true. Okay, let's go back. Okay. AST named expression accept map to name. How is the name? Where is that named expression created? I think we are creating named expressions, and we create like true, like two of them with the name true for some reason. Visit name expression, post visit creates name with identifier for each user declared symbol here. Ha! Rule-based planner. I think here. 400 rule-based planner. Based planner 400. Expand user symbol. Creates name expected for each user declared symbol. This should be used when body is true to generate expressions for no. Expand user symbols. Let's try to put breakpoint here. I think this is not called, but still. Expand user symbols. and user symbols. Yeah, this is not called. Now I am inside rule-based planner, or XOR visit binary post visit. Here we have some macro, and that's why it sucks. Has a great if operator, because it's not named expression, because it's something. Visit. Which one is that? A return body context. Yeah, because it goes under. This is cipher main visitor, but return items. Huh. No, let's come here. This is AST line 54. Break AST HPP line 54. No, rule-based planner CPP. Sorry. Rule. I will have to make that. Yeah, that's already failed. It already fails before that. But wait, pre-processes planner, symbol generation. I think the error says true or not dollar. I'm stupid. Multiple results. I'm stupid. Symbol generator CPP. Why I didn't here. Okay. So yeah, I spent so much time figuring out this, but I should have just searched for this error because it's actually a valid error. Yeah. Okay, now I have, sorry, user symbols, all identifiers. That's not true. So new names, user symbols, user sim name, named expressions, name, named expression name. How is that defined? No, this is named expressions, body, named expressions. This is just collected. Named expressions. Named expressions. These are tests and operator stripped. Frontend stripped HPP. That could be actually the stripper. So the stripper is running named expressions. The stripper might actually So the stripper is actually the component that does removes the literals and replaces them with something better. But maybe that thingy here is actually. But what if I return? Let's say. Why is this actually happening? So if I quit here completely, yes. Data 2. Try to run this. That will fail, but if return true, should be true. If I false, false. Mm-hmm. Let's put a breakpoint here just to see is it possible. Okay. Tokens yet is return. Okay. Now we go again. Space. Okay, we have return space. Through. Okay. Okay. Five. Return space true. Tup tup. Second. Okay. Original. First is true, second is false. That's correct. So the stripper is correct. Okay. But token. Nothing. Okay. property value. Next, break. Why break? Token space. Yes, token index. Boom. Tokens. Token. Second is okay. Now we have true. Okay. If true, replace stripped. K stripped. Property value. Replace stripped is lambda that does position value. New value. What is new value? Literals. New value is true for true, which is correct. And if I go next, that will break. Yeah, next that will break, and then we'll go back. And now token here should be comma or something. Yeah. Comma space, that's correct. Token false. Yeah, nice. Isad, and now true. If, which is not true, yes, K stripped boolean token. Haha. Haha. I think I found stuff. AGK. Yeah, here we put true for both of these, which is not correct. Yeah, I think this is the problem. Which is under K stripped here, stripped HPP. K stripped boolean. K stripped boolean true token. K stripped boolean false. false token. Now I'm already fixing stuff, so false, true, false, and somewhere here. Boolean true token, boolean false. But that won't fix. Okay, so that actually won't fix stripped CPP. Okay, strip boolean true token, false token. Yeah, this is now interesting because I think if we have false false, that again won't work. But yeah, if we have return false false true, that won't work. But that makes sense because that's the same error as not that. So yeah. So you cannot have return AAB because like the name, you're returning the same thing. So that conceptually doesn't have much sense. Okay. Git diff, so stripped boolean true token, boolean false token, boolean true token. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now if I try to run the same thing, quit yes. Let's try to run regular memgraph and return true. That's gonna fly. False. That's gonna fly. False. True, false. True, true. Name true or not. Correct error